Do you notice anything unusual about this intersection? We've got the freeway over here. There's the entrance to Universal Studios over here. We have the metro station here. Looks like just a regular Los Angeles intersection, right? Well, this one has something different. At this intersection, we have Campo de Cahuenga, which is an important part of California and American history. Back in the 1800s, James K. Polk ran for president on the idea of a manifest destiny, that the United States is destined to own all of North America, and he won. So he made what he thought was a very generous offer to Mexico for New Mexico, Arizona, and California. And Mexico said, no thanks. So he did what, unfortunately, a lot of America does when they don't get what they want. He sent troops and thus started the Mexican-American War. The United States sent John C. Frémont out here to California, and he settled in Santa Barbara to plan an attack here in Los Angeles. Now, in Santa Barbara, there was a woman named Doña Bernarda Ruiz. She had four sons who were in the Mexican army. Now, if you have four sons, do you think you know anything about conflict resolution? Yeah, you probably do. And she was concerned about her sons, so she requested an audience with Frémont, and she was granted 10 minutes. She took those 10 minutes and expanded it to over 2 hours, where she proposed terms for peace, very generous terms for both sides. Now, she's not an official of the Mexican army. She was just the unofficial matriarch of Santa Barbara. But Frémont listened to her, and a month later, General Pico of the Mexican Army and John C. Frémont of the United States Army signed the Treaty of Cahuenga. That treaty was signed right here. Technically it was signed right here, but this is a busy street. But they do have markers outside to show you where the exact location was. The first 7 articles of the treaty were almost verbatim what Doña Ruiz had proposed, which just shows the strength of her influence. The Treaty of Cahuenga, also called the Capitulation of Cahuenga, didn't end the Mexican-American War, but it did end the hostilities in California. A year later, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed, and the war was over, and California became a state. These are the actual ruins of the adobe where the treaty was signed. The tiles and the cobblestones that are here are not the original, but you can see the 3-foot wide adobe wall. That is the original. These ruins were found when they were excavating for the subway and preserved here at Campo de Cahuenga. The building on the property is an adobe replica and houses a museum. The museum has a photograph of Bernarda Ruiz taken in 1877, 30 years after the Treaty of Cahuenga was signed. They also have an actual photo of General Pico taken in 1850, just 3 years after the signing of the treaty. There are no photos of John C. Frémont, but they have his portrait on the wall. They also have his dispatch box in which he carried important documents like military orders and maps. In this case, private doesn't refer to his rank. He was a lieutenant colonel. They also have a very early photo of Mrs. A.C.S. Forbes and a photo of her later in life over the mantel. She was a historian and preservationist and the primary force behind the preservation of Campo de Cahuenga. Today they're doing the reenactment of the signing of the Treaty of Cahuenga. They have booths over here with food, with information from historical societies. This is going to be fun. They started with the color guard raising the flag, the Pledge of Allegiance, and then a small cannon, big boom. They had speakers. Doña Bernarda Ruiz's descendants were in the audience, which was very cool. They had dancers. A Mexican hat dance. And then the main event, the reenactment.
I offer you a chance for freedom. I offer you a chance to join America with its freedom and independence, its free trade, and prosperity of this great nation.
This was so much fun. I am so glad I came. Now they only do the reenactment once a year, but you can come and visit this historic place, such an important part of California and American history anytime. Find your adventure. Thank you for watching.